Comes from the heart, it reaches the heart, it touches the heart. And Professor Rela, with his very touching address displaying humility, he touched all of us, and so are the other two, Dr. Sengatuvelu and Dr. Arun. Although there were only 3 speakers, there are 11 awardees, and each one of them has a powerful story of success and achievement and service, which are worth repeating again and again. The award which they got today, let it be called by any name, Dynamic Indian or whatever name one chooses. It is a modest way of conveying a thank you to each one of them for the services they have rendered to the society. A doctor not only caring, treating the patients, giving life, saving lives, finding new ways to save life and to make the medical procedure easier, less suffering for the patient. Through their researches, they do great service to humanity. In fact, the profession of medicine is considered, we all know, next only to God. No, we have not seen God, but they are the living one on this earth. When a patient goes to a doctor, when we go to a doctor, we surrender ourselves fully. Whatever the doctor prescribes, you take it blindly, with absolute implicit faith that yes, what the doctor has given must work for me and I will be better off. So each one of you, the doctors, you deserve applause, deserve recognition again and again. Others, say Adimulam, from the field of journalism, again is doing a great service to the people. Because when the people's behavior are shaped by the information that you receive, the perspective that you get on all that is happening around. And his contribution has been very refreshing in contrast with several others which put up a very narrow perspective. At times it appears whether it is actually a media of mass communication in genuine sense or whether it is an instrument of propaganda. In this scenario, coming up a newspaper with a national perspective is indeed very, very refreshing. There are others in the field of industry. They have done a great job, they are doing a great job, service to a large number of people, giving livelihood to a large number of people and benefiting a larger part of the society. Dr. Krishna from the Krishna Sweets, he is not only sweetening the lives of people, but also he is a patron of art and culture. That way you are doing a great service. And Nagaraj Rangaswamy, the person who does the catering, his story is very, very inspiring. Very modest background, not much of education. He started as a server, and with the audacity of his dream and desire to do something big, today he is providing livelihood to over 750 people. This is the story of Nagaraj Rangaswamy, and a story that needs to be told again and again to our people. So I congratulate all of them for the services they have been rendering to our society, to our country. You are all makers of modern India. You might be working in your area, in your theatre, in your sector, but through all these add together is what makes this country great, what is making this country great. And I thank the KZ Foundation, Dr. Bhakt Vatsala, very energetic person. Look at his age. All the award, he was coming himself, running from like picking up, giving. Every time when a speaker goes, he rushes to the dais. Look at the energy of this great person. He looks, he in fact, many of the young people would vie for his energy. He demonstrates it. I thank this KZ Foundation for honoring these people. Because by honoring these people, you are telling their story to the society. And a society, it grows with the inspiration and the story of these people. While these people feel happy, those who are serving, I'm not very sure whether they really crave for recognition. But the fact is that when you are doing good to large number of people, you are touching and transforming the lives of so many in your own ways. And when someone tells you thank you, just a modest expression of gratitude, it does feel good. It does good feel to the recipient. But at the same time, it is also an inspiration to a larger number of others. Because after all, we know that the people, the society moves according to the icons, those are the leaders who move forward. As it is said even in Bhagavad Gita, it says, or Mahabharata, Mahajane yena gatena sapartha, the way the great people move, the way they move, others follow. This is also the 49th anniversary of the services which the KZ Foundation has been rendering to the society. Look at the modest beginning again. Sri Dharmavira G. Govindaswamy Naidu, about who his illustrious son spoke that they were not a very highly educated people, educated in the sense of academic degree. But some half a century ago, he thought of supplementing the healthcare needs of the people. The government alone could not do. That was well understood by him, and he started the institution. He laid the foundation of an institution, and that seed, nearly half a century over the period, has grown and has diversified. And as what was read out, it has diversified to meet the needs of the society in various fields, be it education, be it software, be it spirituality. And I'm sure while the next year it will celebrate the Golden Jubilee, it will celebrate many more jubilees. centenary in the years to come, and the institution will continue to grow. But what is important in all these, whether the KZ Foundation and all these awardees, those who are doing, is the noble intention, the desire to do something good, desire to serve the people. This genuine desire, the noble intention, backed by a drive that leads to change, that leads to transformation. What Professor Rela talked about Kambar, his desire to tell the story of Sri Rama, the iconic person, the most perfect human being on earth, is his intense desire, a genuine desire, that led to the creation of the over 12,000 verses, which is called Kambar Ramayana, which touches and shapes the lives and behavior of millions and millions of people. Not only in Tamil Nadu, not only in India, but even across the world. So this noble intention, the genuine desire to touch and transform the lives of the people is what makes the change. And this is what is happening at the national level. We are all witness to the revolutionary transformations that are happening at the national level. The changes, the speed and the scale of transformation is incredible. And all these are possible today, primarily because the noble intention, the intense desire, and indomitable spirit of the national leadership, which the country is fortunate enough to have in the last about a decade. This country, today we are nearly about 1.4 billion, 140 crores. This country, until recently, we were nowhere in the reckoning. Nobody took us seriously. We accounted for nearly 18 to 20% of the world population, but we were at the margin of world affairs. We were so because internally we were weak, we were poor, we were illiterate. We had in our country a large number of people who were sick, not access to health care, not access to education, not access to the basic amenities of a dignified living. Be it healthcare, be it education, be it home. Can you imagine the pain of a homeless? Not having access to potable drinking water, not having access to cooking gas. We were mired in poverty, we were mired in the absence of the basic necessities of life. A large number of people. Our women, half the population of our country was actually suppressed. And all these years, all these decades, over 7 decades after the British left, we kept addressing these problems. We kept talking about Garibi Hatao, remove poverty. We kept building hospitals, we kept building schools. We kept building roads, we kept producing electricity. But we kept producing in a way that did not address the problem. And a large number of our people, even with all these initiatives in the past, they remain deprived of these basic necessities. And then what happened? And what happened which brought this paradigm changes? A sincere urge, feeling the pain of the deprived. You know, how do you look at the country? If you look at the country as the British looked at the country, and the way we kept looking at it, even after the British left, in terms of region, in terms of race, in terms of religion, in terms of language. We kept looking this country not as one family, as one unified entity. Because when you look at the country as a family, when your family is, however large your family might be, but if any member of your family is sick, you don't rest, you don't feel comfortable, you feel the pain of a sick member. Similarly, any member of the family suffers, the whole family, at least the head of the family, suffers. That sense. It was with this fundamental change in the way to look at the country, that, and with the intense desire to ameliorate, to mitigate this, the comprehensive programs were launched, be it healthcare, be it education, be it electricity to every house, portable drinking water, cooking gas. And with the participation of the people, we have brought the change. If in the last a few years, if 11 crore houses have got access to potable water, there is a water tap, drinking water. If over 100 million, over 10 crore houses have got the free cooking gas connection, if 30 million homeless got their homes today, and you can keep counting. It could be possible only when the intention of the leadership is clear, is genuine, and involves the people as a member of a family. These houses were not built by contractors, not built by the government. 30 million houses were built by each of the house owner. But the system was created in a way that they get access to the capital for building the house. And for that, when you have a genuine desire, as someone said, where there is a will, there is a way. When you have a genuine desire, you find the way. Now today we have advantage of technology, digital. And look at the digital revolution that happened in the country in the last few years. And through that digital, we are the most digitalized country in the world. Our per capita mobile data consumption is the maximum in the world. Till about 2012, our per capita mobile data consumption used to be 2 GB. 2 GB a month. And our share to the global data production, mobile data production, was also about 2%. Today we are over 22%. And our individual average Indian data consumption per month is over 20 gigabyte, 20 GB. It is also because the reach has been extended far and wide to touch every citizen, and the cost of the data has been reduced to 1/25. The data that per GB it used to cost, if it cost 1 rupees earlier, today it costs 4 paise. So it becomes easily for the people to have access. And that is how we would reach out to over 500 million households and opening the bank account. The transfer, the benefit going directly to the people, to the beneficiary, without any middleman, without anyone to take away the cut or the share. So the houses were built by the homeless themselves because the money for building the house came to their account directly. This All these are happening with the involvement of the people, with the mass participation, treating the country as a family. And the result is that today, from the margin, our country, India, is at the center stage of the world. Today, the world looks at India with expectation to find solution to the global problems. Global problems, be it climate crisis, be it war, be it pandemic, be it poverty and alleviation. In all these fields, we are doing incredible work. Country is achieving new and new heights with the unleashing talents of our young men and women with our countrymen and women. Our half the population, women folk, what is called, Prime Minister calls Nari Shakti. All these years we kept talking about women empowerment, so many schemes were launched. But what happened, what the change? Because with all these, in our country we had a shameful distinction of, for every 1,000 men, there were less than 950 women. Not that the women were not being born. There were cases of female feticide. And even after the female child is born, lack of health care, lack of nutrition. And even the mothers, the suffering. Absence, if we didn't have, we all talked about education for all. We put it even in the Constitution, that it is a fundamental right. But then how does our daughters get access to education if we do not have toilets in the schools, female toilets in the school? So in absence of that, we kept making laws, we kept making noises, but the fact is our people could not get the benefit as they should have got. Our mothers, when you do not have a toilet in the house, who is the worst sufferer? It is our mothers and daughters, those who stay in the house. And when it comes to the kitchen, when you burn coal and wood as a fuel to cook food, who suffers? It is our mothers and sisters. Now, all these transformations that are happening is because you feel, or if you start feeling the pain, if you start realizing in yourself, you will start reimagining, you will start getting new and new ideas how to address the problem. And if we are solving these problems, which earlier used to be, India is such a large country, how can we do? We have this much resources, we can only build so many medical colleges, we can only build so many houses. If today the number of medical colleges in the last 8 years have doubled in the country, which happened in the last almost about 7 decades, how did it happen? How did it happen today that everyone has access to mobile, everyone has access to all those basic amenities? And there are few who are yet to get, they will get shortly because things are moving in a very planned, systematic manner. All these years we kept talking about even remove the social discrimination. We have made perhaps the largest noise about social justice. But it pains me when I read a newspaper report that human faces have been put in the water tank of Dalits, the Dalit colony. When a Dalit Panchayat president comes and tells me that I was not allowed, we are not allowed to hoist the national flag. It is the vice president who does it, not we. When the meetings of panchayats are held, it is the vice president who sits in the chair and Dalit president sits in the corner. What kind of social programs that we have to remove the social discrimination? Very often on we hear the newspaper reports we get that people have been abused because of their social status. And when it comes to crime against deprived and the downtrodden, a story is abysmal. I was going through the data of the crime against the downtrodden, against the Dalits, and the response of the criminal justice system. And I was shocked that in offenses of rape against Dalit women, only 7% rapists get convicted, 93% people walk away. The problem is, so long we keep talking only noise about Garibi Hatao, remove poverty, so long only keep making noise about social justice, it will continue. It has remained. It has to be addressed with a sense of responsibility, sense of feeling. Sense of feeling that they are our brothers and sisters. And it must go. Any kind of discrimination must go. Then if the intentions are noble, if the intentions are for my selfish interest, then it becomes a slogan. Then it can be a constituency. The problem will persist. As the problem of poverty persisted almost all these decades after independence, because we kept making slogan of Garibi Hatao, remove the poverty. Similarly, if the problem of social discrimination will continue unless we move away from making it just a slogan, we move away from the regressive politics of division and feel for them. It is, India is a family. It is a kudumbam. And that is why when it comes to healthcare, Ayushman Bharat does not make a distinction between whether the person is here in Kanyakumari or in Kashmir, or Kutch or Kohima. A person from Tirunel Valley or Tripura, a poor person has a coverage of Ayushman Bharat. The 5 lakhs rupees health insurance is accessible to all. There is no political consideration, there is no other consideration. The feeling is the poor, whether the person is of Tirunel Valley, Kanyakumari, or Tripura or Kashmir, they are a member of our family. They must have access to health care. So Ayushman Bharat touches everyone. No one is left out. When it comes to home for the homeless, there is no distinction. Earlier times we used to hear a statement being made by the leaders that good politics is good economics. That if you help me, if you help my party, I will help you. That's not the way to look at the country. We cannot. This country is a great country. It has a great potential. Until 18th century, we were the leader in every field in the world. Read the reports and it tells you until 18th century, India was the largest economy of the world. But in the last over 200-250 years, the decline that has happened through colonization and post-colonial perverse way of looking at the country and its people, perverse politics, that our problem continued. We remained at the margin, nobody took us seriously. We remained divided in terms of race, religion, in terms of language, in terms of ethnicity, and what not. Because if you keep looking at differences, we are all large number, several hundred people sitting in this hall. No one is alike. No two persons are alike. But are we really different? If you keep looking at differences, then the differences multiply. At the time when India became independent and for the first time the list of castes and tribes were made out and brought in the constitution. And today the number have doubled up. Today we have almost double the number of castes than the caste that we had in 1951. We have doubled the number of tribes than the tribes we had. From where all new castes and new tribes are coming up? Because we kept looking at differences. You are this caste, you are that tribe. And then the caste became subcaste and subcaste and subcaste. This multiplication started happening, and it is destroying our society. It has destroyed, it has weakened us. No, we cannot afford to look at ourselves in terms of, in the eyes of division. We are all members of a family. We are all like leaves of a tree. Each leaf is different from the other. No two leaves are alike, but they are all part of, organically and integrally part of the tree. Irrespective of race, religion, language, or region, we are all members of a family. With this sense, our country is moving forward, and moving forward with a sense of destiny, with a sense of confidence. And this confidence is reflecting in the way the international community is also looking at us. The sense of destiny is, in the next 25 years, we have to be a fully developed country. Fully developed. Now this goal, this destiny which has to be achieved, is possible only with the participation of our people. And it is happening. Our young men and women are doing incredible things. If until 2014 we had less than 500 startups and today we have over 100,000, it is because over 100,000 young men and women have chosen to do something new. If today we are leader in the startup, we are leader in the technology sector, we are among the top. It is happening because energy, the latent energy, the potential of our people are unleashing. Today, our young men and women are aspirational. And they have access to the digital devices. They have access to information. They have access to what is happening elsewhere. They can no longer be fooled today by the slogans. They want change. And if the change is not brought, they will bring the change themselves. And our nation is moving forward with a total participation, involvement, and total realization that aspirations and the dreams of our youth must be fulfilled. We have to get involved. We have to forsake the regressive politics of division, trying to divide the society in various terms, various segments. No. The days are gone. It has already, its self-life is over. Today, we have to be inclusive. We have to move forward as if one family. And I'm sure, I have no doubt about it, I have full trust in our young men and women. Their capacity to take India in the next 25 years, by the time when we celebrate the centenary of our independence, India would be the leader of the world. We have that confidence in the capacity of the people. And in this journey, while the heroes of today, those who have been convey a modest thank you, I am sure while they will continue playing their role, KG Foundation and its institution will also continue flourishing, would continue expanding and touching and transforming the lives of millions and millions of people. My friends, thank you all very much. I wish this institution all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
It's a great pleasure to